Hello and welcome to Creating a Killer, where I explain to you why I decided to end the weekly review. You guys voted, and the overwhelming majority of you wanted to see this video made, so if you're one of the 2 or 3 people that didn't want to see this video, there is gonna be some Bhop footage in it, and there'll be some future tellings as to what my content will be like towards the end. So maybe you'll find something interesting to stick around for. If not, see it in the next one. Anyways, like I said in the finale, there are a bunch of reasons as to why I decided to end it, and I can assure you that I deliberated heavily before making any decisions, which I will be getting into, but before that I want to give some context behind why I created the weekly review to begin with. I originally created the weekly bunny hop map review for a few reasons. The first being that I wanted to give back to the community. Bee-hopping is something that helps me to relax and have fun, while also allowing me to engage in friendly competition. When I first created this channel, it was for the intention of attracting newcomers to Bee-hop by making it something easier to get into, as well as clearing up some of the misinformation spread by some of the more casual players that have limited knowledge of what bunny hopping actually is.
Hey, I'm actually holding on to W, it doesn't really make a difference if you do or not.
Part of that included me wanting to highlight people in the community who are doing a great job. I especially wanted to focus on the people who put a lot of effort into making content for everyone to play on and who often get overlooked. Specifically, I wanted to spotlight the mappers and give them some constructive criticism on what could be done better and give them praise on a job well done. That spotlight quickly grew to include bee-hoppers who upload runs to YouTube, providing everyone with entertainment, as well as servers which are generously paid for out of pocket so that we all can have a place to hang out and bee-hop. Shout out to Mythical Gaming, link in the description. Anyways, when I first started out, I wanted to make content that would attract newcomers, and I tried to, with mild success, though I wasn't happy with the end result. I didn't know what I was doing when it came to video editing, my audio was terrible, and it took me forever to get anything out. So I decided, hey, I'm going to make weekly content by talking about the maps that come out each week and recommend the good ones, while also giving some quick constructive criticism with some comedy thrown in to make it fun. This content would also serve to help me hone my editing skills so that when I did decide to start making videos capable of attracting newer people, I would be able to get them out faster and with more efficient editing, which would hopefully allow me to feel more satisfied with the finished product. In summary, the weekly review was never intended to be a permanent staple of the content that I created, and from the moment the idea was conceived, it was already designed with an end somewhere up the road. You're probably wondering, why now and not some other time? Well, there are a few reasons for this. Over the past month or so, I've begun to feel creatively frustrated. I was bored with creating videos in the exact same format, week after week, being unable to get to the other projects that I wanted to work on. Oftentimes, I'd be forced to choose between working extra hours to get a little editing or writing done on a non-weekly review video, or taking time to relax and unwind. On top of that, there were some people expressing that they wanted to see more in-depth analysis of individual maps as opposed to quick reviews of several maps, which is something that I'm not only capable of, but it's something that I also had been planning on doing for a little while, but hadn't got around to because of how much time went into the weekly reviews. And in order to properly illustrate how much work went into those, I'll walk you through my schedule for creating a weekly map review video. My schedule each week was essentially broken into 2 sections. The first was from Wednesday to Friday night, which involved running and recording new maps, testing for skips and issues, and then going through and making usable video clips. Oftentimes, this amounted to over an hour of footage per map with specific fails or issues of the map that needed to be dug out. For every hour or so of gameplay, there was usually at least 30 minutes of going back through footage in order to find what I needed. I'd usually get some writing done during this period if I had time, though not much. The next section was from Saturday morning to Tuesday night, and this is where the real grind took place. In about 4.5 days, I needed to complete around a 5-page script, single-spaced with 11-point font, basically a 10-page essay if you double-spaced it, and then I'd need to record and edit my audio, which could only be done at specific times because the world around me is rife with noises that can't be edited out. Next was creating the thumbnail and transitional frames, which is usually pretty quick and would take me only around an hour at most, and the next step was probably the biggest: editing together the videos. This oftentimes took much longer than it should have. If I skipped over something that I meant to clip out, then I'd have to go back through footage to find what I was looking for. If Sony Vegas crashed, which it did frequently, and I forgot to save, it could set me back anywhere from 10 minutes to a full hour's worth of work, though the autosave feature did save my ass on the odd time that it actually worked. So if I was lucky, I'd be able to edit the entire video and render it by Tuesday morning. If I wasn't so lucky though, then I'd have to take 30-minute naps and work through the night to get it rendered and ready to upload by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was crucial to get the rendering done by this time so that way I could re-upload the video to YouTube if it failed, which it did occasionally. While the video was uploading, I would edit the description, add in tags, and hope the video got finished in time to go through and add in some end scenes. If anything went wrong at this point in the process, I'd have to either release the video the way that it was, or delay the release. To say that this schedule was stressful is a bit of an understatement, and on weeks where there were more maps that came out, the shorter I'd have to make the scripts in order to get through all the footage and get the videos out on time, which is why some reviews were much more in-depth while others tackled just the most important points. Simply put, the weekly review format was time-consuming, very stressful, and was starting to get boring. Coupling those issues with the final reason, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone as to why I ended the weekly review. And that final reason is channel growth deceleration. At the end of April, my channel had pulled in less subscribers than any of the previous months. In fact, my channel brought in about 33% less subscribers than in my previous worst month, and 2/3 the subscribers than in the month of March. That's not to say that I lost viewership. In fact, view-wise, April was my second best month so far. What that means is that the weekly reviews had already reached the majority of their target audience, and in the coming months, subscribership would begin to trickle off, more and more approaching a plateau. So I was left with a decision: continue making the weekly map review for the audience I already have that enjoys it, or shift gears and start making content that is more consumable by a general audience while also tailoring to the more experienced B-hoppers out there. And when you factor in the amount of time, effort, and stress it took to create the weekly reviews, deciding on what to do was pretty easy. And I've come up with a solution that should benefit everyone, and I'll explain exactly how I plan to do that, but I want to first give my hypothesis as to why subscribership had begun to decline. If you were to go to my channel right now and click on the Videos tab, you'd see that I have 33 videos, not including this one. 25 of those videos are weekly reviews, and 6 of those are other B-Hop related videos. The next thing that I'm going to do is sort by popularity, and wouldn't you know it, only one weekly review breaks the top 5 most popular videos on the channel. Now, if I compare that with the YouTube analytics to see what videos bring in the most subscribers, the results are similar. 3 of the top 5 are non-weekly reviews, and of the 2 weekly reviews, you'll notice that one is the very first weekly review, and the other is the weekly review number 20, which is in my top 5 most popular videos on the channel. At first, I found it strange that weekly review number 1, despite not breaking the top 10 most popular videos, brought in more subscribers than videos that have almost double the views. But the more that I thought about it, the more that it made sense. See, when was the last time that you ever decided to jump into a series, skipping over episode 2? Probably almost never. And the few times that you do, you'll almost certainly feel less invested and more confused than if you'd started off from the beginning. Even if the series was entirely episodic and missing the first episode had no consequences to the narrative or plot. The reason this happens is that even though you haven't missed anything, subconsciously your brain is furiously trying to figure out context and worrying about what was missed, which takes away from the overall enjoyment from what's being watched. So, assuming you're a newcomer and coming across a title called CSGO Weekly Bunny Hop Map Review number 24, even though you might think, I haven't seen a bunny hop map review before, this looks interesting. Subconsciously, your mind is focused on the number 24, which quickly turns into, wow, that means I need to watch 23 of these first before I can get caught up. I think that because of this, people are not only less likely to click on the videos, but when they do click on the videos, they're less likely to be invested in what they're watching. Compounding that onto the fact that the content is being hosted on the YouTube platform where there are nearly endless choices when it comes to finding something to watch, it becomes even less likely that someone new will check out an ongoing series when they have an opportunity to just go and check out something else that can be consumed entirely in one sitting. So basically, what I think is that the format that I was using was one that doesn't optimally fit the platform that I'm on. But hey, maybe new people just thought what I was making was a big pile of shit and I'm a fucking idiot. Either way, I needed to find a way to create videos that are less stressful to make, don't drive away my current subscriber base, bring in new subscribers, allow me to express my creativity, and still benefit and showcase people doing good work in the community. So I thought about how I could get this all done, and the solution that I came up with was surprisingly simple. I just needed to mix things up a bit. So, as of now, there will be 4 types of videos I will be releasing from here on out. The first of which will be the reason that most of you have already been watching my channel up until now. That's right, I'm still going to be doing map reviews and analysis videos, though at my own discretion and leisure. I won't be reviewing every map, only the ones that I feel really deserve it. I'll especially use these videos to talk in depth about what stands out and why it's exceptional, or terrible. There'll probably be a lot of comparisons to other maps, and since I won't need to record and edit every map that comes out in a week, I'll have plenty of time to get footage from those maps to show exactly what I mean in those comparisons instead of just alluding to it. The second type of videos I'll be making are the Bhop talk shows. I've been talking with several people in the community and have some really interesting and fun topics planned and ready to go. Again, I'll be using these to spotlight runs of players in the community, so if you want to be featured, then send your runs to jacoby123abc@gmail.com. The runs you send in don't have to be a world record, or even good for that matter, and at the end of the video I'll shout out your channel with a link in the description. Speaking of the description, check that shit out for all the information you need when it comes to sending in your run. The third type of video that I'll be coming out with is top 10 lists. I've been working on compiling a list of the best maps, in my opinion of course, for each tier, scaling in difficulty from map to map in order to provide people with a path to follow that will allow them to seamlessly go from being a complete beginner to being able to beat all the hard maps. And once I finish with that, I have some other list-based ideas as well, but I won't get into that until further on down the road. Note that these videos do take some time to compile footage for, so they will be a little less frequent than most of the other types of content that I'll be making. Next up will be a fairly new concept for the channel. I have some planned content that takes a look back into the past, pointing out the differences in trends and how they've grown over time to shape what we currently know to be Bhop nowadays, documenting some of the history of bunny hopping along the way. Hopefully that doesn't sound too vague, but once I get the first one of these out, then I'm sure most people will either be on board with it or hate it enough to let me know never to do it again. Finally, there are the passion projects. These will be videos that might not be directly linked to bunny hop, but it will hover somewhere close enough to the line of Counter-Strike relevance that I won't feel too bad inserting them into the mix every now and again. This video, for example, would be considered more of a passion project than anything else, and to keep things relevant, I'll throw in runs from some of the more recent maps that I think are worth checking out while I narrate over top. Kind of like you've been seeing throughout this video. And, of course, I'll have all the information linked in the description as always, including more optimized routes hit by people much better than I am. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is my schedule going forward, or lack of a schedule. I'm not going to be making videos that come out on a specific day every week because I want to make sure that the videos that do come out are edited well and nothing is rushed. The videos will be coming out once they've received the TMAC Cree seal of approval. That said, you can still expect to have a video come out about once a week, but if I need some more time to work on the video, then it might be an extra day or two until it hits your subscription box. That said, the opposite also applies. If I get a video done early, then you might get 2 in 1 week every now and again. The best way to know when something will be coming out is to follow me on Twitter at TMacDagoon, where I'll be tweeting out notifications roughly a day before the video is set to be released. But that's about all the time that I have for whatever the hell this thing is, so make sure to leave a like if you like, comment, and subscribe, share this video with whoever the hell you want, and if you want a little more of me, you in the morning. Check out my secondary channel, TMacDagoon 2, and if you want to sponsor my attempt to climb out of YouTube obscurity, then donate to my PayPal, link in the description for everything and more. I'm T-Mac.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.